everyone, this is Maria and this is my pet rock, Rafaela. Today, Rafaela and I would like to show you how to make a haunted campground where your pet rocks can toast marshmallows and tell spooky ghost stories. This is what you're going to need. To make our haunted campground, we're going to be using some cardboard, a cup to make a pattern, and we're going to be using some white pom-poms, some twigs, a small little coffin, and this is optional. And we're also going to be using this piece of wood. I found this chunk of wood that I wanted to use. We're also going to be using some small pine cones and some small little pumpkins that I got off of some silk plants from the Dollar Tree. And we're going to be using one of these small tea lights from the dollar store. And you can see it lights up. We're also going to need something for the base of our haunted campground. And so I'll be using this felt owl that I purchased at the Dollar Tree. But you can use anything that you like. You can use just regular square felt pieces. You can use construction paper. You can use poster board. You can use a paper bag. You can use anything that you like. And so I just happened to see this at the Dollar Tree and I thought this would be fun to use. You're also going to need some silk leaves in autumn colors. I got these at the Dollar Tree, though you can use real leaves too. And Rafaela and I will also be using this floral moss that I purchased at the Dollar Tree. You're also going to need a few pieces of blank paper and a scrap of scrapbook paper if you have it. Rafaela and I are also going to use some of these stickers that I purchased at Joann's Fabric and Crafts, but you can find these Halloween stickers at your Dollar Tree and other craft stores. You're also going to need some small stones. I purchased these rocks at the Dollar Tree. They're sold in small bags. You can also use rocks that you find in the outdoors. And here are some other things that you'll need. A pen, a paintbrush, a glue stick, a black permanent marker, some white glue, a ruler, scissors, a stapler, and some acrylic paint. And you'll also need a hot glue gun and a grown-up to help you apply the hot glue. I'm also going to be using some of these Halloween pet rock monsters that I made last year in a separate tutorial. So I'll go ahead and link that tutorial below. So Rafaela and her pet rock friends are anxious to tell ghost stories around the campfire. So let's get rockin'. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my black permanent marker and I'm going to take this little paper mache. It's like a little paper mache cardboard coffin that I purchased at, I believe I got this at Joann's. I've already painted the bottom half. And so I'm going to do the top part. And so you can use anything that you like, and this is totally optional. I just happened to come across this. I've seen little coffins at the dollar store. They're a little bit larger, but you can use those. You can just use what you have on hand. I'm just giving you some ideas here. And so anyways, see, we're just going to cover this. You can also use acrylic paint, but I find that this marker is really quick. And just be careful that you don't get marker on your fingers. So I'm going to hold the edges. And so I'm going to also be doing the inside. So we're all done painting the lid of the coffin to match the bottom half. And so here you can add a sticker to the top. And I noticed there's some bat stickers in this book. Or you can use some of this puff paint and you can write RIP on here. So I think that's what I'm going to do. But you can do anything you want. It's a little crooked. Oh, that turned out cute. I think I'm going to add this little sticker also. I just think that's really cute. So let's go ahead and we're going to put this outside so it'll dry quickly. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make our fire pit. And so you can see I have a circle here already on this piece of cardboard. Also, I want to show you, you're just going to need a scrap piece of cardboard. This happens to be some cardboard from the post office because I do mail a lot of packages throughout the year and I collect these. And so they just sort of accumulate there. So I'm going to take my cup. It could be any cup, whatever size you want to make it. You're going to take your pen and you're just going to go around the perimeters of the cup. And we're just going to make our pattern, our template, just like that. Set your cup aside. Then you're going to take your scissors and you're just going to cut this out. And it could be a little crooked. It's okay if it's not perfect, because we're actually going to glue some stones onto this. Okay, so we have our circle, and I'm not going to toss away this cardboard because I can use this. Just going to flip that right over, and then I'm going to take my brush. I'm going to add some water to this cup, and I'm going to mix the black and the white because I'm going to paint this. This is the base of our fire pit. And so I want to make kind of a gray color, sort of a ashy charcoal color. And I'm just going to dip my brush. I've got a paper towel also. Just going to mix that up. And I'm just going to start painting. Just give it a quick coat. Okay, I'm going to set that outside for a couple of minutes. Okay, so now that this is dry, we're going to take some of our yellow paint and some of our red paint. And so if you have orange, that would work. I don't have orange, so I'm going to mix these two colors together. Also, I want to mention that you can use anything you want. You can use crayons. That would work also. And let's see, I just have a little bit of red paint in here. I'm running out. I'm just going to squeeze some out. Whoops. And then I'm going to take my brush, clean my brush, and we're going to mix this paint. And I think I'm going to add a little bit more yellow. And so this is going to be kind of representing some of the flames to show that the coals are hot, the wood is hot. And so we're just going to take that and we're just going to lightly brush, just to give it a little effect. So this is what it looks like. I'm just going to set it outside so it can dry. And like I said, you can use crayons. That would be much quicker, I think. So while we wait for the paint to dry, we're going to make some little marshmallows on these sticks. And these are super simple to make, you guys, and I really love these. And so what we're going to do is we're going to need some twigs. So I got this from our front yard under our tree. And so you're just going to snap them off, just like that. And so then we're going to take some of these little white pom-poms, and you can also use real mini marshmallows if you want to, and you can put them on toothpicks. That would be really cute also. So I'm going to take my little stick and a pom-pom. So you can use either your hot glue gun or your tacky glue, white glue. And so this is Turbo Tacky Glue that I purchased at Joann's. So I'm just going to take a little bit of my tacky glue and I'm just going to put it right there on the pom-pom, just like a little drop. And then you're going to take one of your little twigs and you're going to put that right in and you're going to hold it. So this is if you don't want to use the hot glue. This will take longer to hold, so you're going to have to just hold it for a while, just like that. And that's why I prefer personally the hot glue, but if you're a child and you're using the hot glue, you will need a grown-up to do this with you because I wouldn't want you to burn your fingertips. And so actually you could see that it stuck on there pretty quickly, and so you can just set this aside and let them completely dry. Or the way I prefer is the hot glue, but you will need a grown-up to help you with this. You can see I'm pinching the pom-pom very carefully. I'm going to drop a little drop of hot glue, and it is very hot. And I'm just going to put that right there where the hot glue is and just hold it, just like I did with the other. This one will stick really quickly, and you don't want to touch that glue because it's very hot. And so we're just going to let that one sit. So let's go ahead and do another one using the tacky glue. What's that, Rafaela? Oh my goodness, why didn't I think of that? You are so clever. Let's go ahead and show them. So Rafaela has come up with a brilliant idea. Thank you, Rafaela. And so if you don't have access to twigs or these little white pom-poms, no worries, because you can also use Q-tips. And what we're going to do is we're going to snip off one end. Make sure that you're holding the Q-tip from the opposite end. You don't want your finger anywhere near the scissors, or you can have an adult help you. And so you may have to have an adult help you because that was kind of tough to cut off. And so we're going to take our brown permanent marker, or if you have a brown crayon, I just happen to have this brown marker, and you can just go ahead and color this, paint this brown. And there you go, marshmallows on a stick. Thank you, Rafaela. We're going to make this really cute ghost story book. And so we're going to measure this 3.5 inches by 2 inches. And so we're going to first use our scrapbook paper, and I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to measure 3 inches, but let's turn it around because I don't want my pen mark to be on the front. So 3.5 inches, and by 2 inches, there we go. And then we're just going to use our scissors to cut that out. Just going to go right down to that 2-inch mark there. And then I'm just going to come from this side and just go straight across. There we go. And you could see this is about right. And then we can fold this in half. And that's going to be our cover, our front and back cover. And we're going to go ahead and mark this at 3.5 inches across, right there, by 2 inches. And it doesn't have to be perfect because you can always trim it. And so I'm just going to use my scissors and I'm going to cut down to that mark right here. So remember 3.5 and then 2 inches deep, or the length. And just across, just like that. I'm going to set this aside. You can see I'm going to place the sheets. I have 3 pieces here, which will give us 6 pages. Super simple, and you're just going to fold it together, and then you're going to take your stapler, and you're just going to go to the center as far as you can get it. Mine doesn't quite reach, but that's all right. I'm using this small stapler because I'm out of the larger ones. So I'm just going to fold it. You can see my staples are right there, but that's all right. And you can see that we need to trim this, but that's super simple to do. Be very careful though. Don't want you catching your fingertips there. And put your fingertips back while you trim, away from the scissors. Okay, there you go. We have our little ghost story book that's so simple. And then we're going to take a sticker, and there just happens to be a ghost sticker in here. And so I'm just going to peel that off. And so you could put a sticker on the front and the back. And so let me go ahead and peel that off. And sometimes they kind of tear, so be very careful. There we go. And I'm just going to put this little ghosty. It just happens to fit perfectly. And I love the green in the background also. And just press that down. That's really cute. And so we want to put a sticker on the back. So you can put whatever you'd like. I like this spooky mirror. I think it's so neat. And so I'm just going to put that in the back. And there's also some little mice. And so I'm going to take this little black mouse. I'm going to put him right here on the bottom. So now your pet rocks have their very own ghost story book to tell scary stories in the dark. So now the base of our fire pit is dry. And so I've gone ahead and picked out all of these rocks. And so I'm going to hot glue them onto the cardboard. Just going to put a little bit of hot glue. Again, if you're a child, you need to have some grown-up help with this because this glue is very hot. I'm thinking you could probably use the white glue. Just keep in mind that it will take longer to dry. So we're just going to go around the circle. And what I did was I set all the rocks on the fire pit to make sure they all fit. And then I just set them out on the perimeters just so you could see just like that. So you know exactly where they're going to go. And I'm alternating the colors. You can see there's a darker stone, a brown stone, some white stones. Okay, so we're almost done. I'm just going to place that one right there. And I think, oh no, we can't squeeze that one in. So I'm going to find another stone that will fit. I just found this other smaller stone and I think I can squeeze it in there. So I'm just going to put a little glue there. Maybe drop some there and right there on the rock just to make sure it stays. There we go. So the little stone is glued down, and I also want to show you these little strings of glue. You can just pull them off. That happens when you use a hot glue gun. So just going to clean those off. And you can see that the stones are all glued down. The next thing we're going to do is take this little tea light, and there's a little switch at the bottom. And so it will glow in the dark, just like a fire at a campfire. So now we're going to need some logs for the fire. And so all we need to do is get a few sticks, and I got these from my front yard, and you're just going to snap them, and then you could just place them into the fire. And this is a lot of fun, you guys. It really starts to look like a campfire. So now your pet rocks have their campfire to toast their marshmallows and to tell ghost stories. So you can see Rafaela is so excited. She wants to set up camp. So let's do it, Rafaela. So the first thing we're going to do to build our haunted campground for our pet rocks is to lay down the base. And so I'm going to be using this brown felt owl that I purchased at the Dollar Tree. But like I mentioned before, you can use anything that you like. So then we're going to set down our campfire right in the center. Next, I'm going to set down this log, and so our pet rocks can sit on this log if they like and stay warm by the campfire. And then I'm going to put some of this dry moss around the campfire, probably around the log. Make it look spooky. So I'm just going to tuck some in right there. Maybe not that much. Just going to take some of that aside. I'm making a mess. So here is my moss. I think it really adds to the spookiness. I have this little pumpkin that I took off of those silk plants. This is optional. And I'm just going to place it right, let's see, maybe I'm going to place it right there next to the moss. And then you could take some of your leaves and put them in a Ziploc bag and crunch them up, and you could spread them all over your campground. Now I'm going to use some of my silk leaves, and let me show you how I use those. And so this is how I did it. I just took one of these leaves from the Dollar Tree, and then I just started snipping pieces, kind of like making confetti. Be careful with your fingers, so you want to make sure that your fingertips are far away from the scissors. And so you just keep snipping. So you can see it makes like this colorful fall confetti. And so I'm just going to spread this around. But like I said, you can use leaves from your own yard. It's just that we don't get these colorful leaves here in Southern California, and I really wanted to give that fall effect. Next, I'm going to take these pet rock gravestones from the monster pet rocks I made last year, and I'm going to place them right over the eyes of the owl. And I'm going to place this small acorn right here for the nose of the owl. Now you can place these small acorns anywhere you like. I think I'll put this one right here behind the log. And then we're going to take this paper mache coffin, and we're going to place it at the far end of the campground. And I'm going to place Dracula and his son in the coffin. Now little Dracula says he doesn't want to go inside the coffin. He wants to be outside where all of the fun is going to be tonight. And a haunted campground wouldn't be complete without these pet rock ghosts. And this pet rock pumpkin wants to join in on the fun too. So I think I'm going to replace this pumpkin with this pumpkin. And Rafaela's friends have begun to arrive. And more of Rafaela's pet rock friends have arrived. This is going to be a monster pet rock party. So the party is rocking at Ghost Rock Camp, and Rafaela is ready to tell ghost stories. Here's your ghost story book, Rafaela. So Rafaela and I hope you have fun creating your own haunted campground. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day, and happy Halloween. Bye-bye.